Hi, a very good day to all the assessor. My name is Tan Win Win. I am a student of the Master Science in Molecular Medicines. I would like to present on my proposal topic, which is physician knowledge and attitude of pharmacogenomics testing in KPJ Hospital, Malaysia. Okay, my content includes introduction, review, research question, project objective, methodology, implications, budget, timeline, and references. I will start with my introductions. What is pharmacogenomics? It is the study of how a person's genetic makeup affects that person's response to medications. Treatment failure and adverse drug reactions have long been known to be a major issues in pharmacotherapeutics. There are 20 to 95% of drug response variabilities accounted by pharmacogenomics with different drugs. Recent RCTs also shows that pharmacogenomic testing in clinical practice have shown benefits in improved therapeutic outcomes via optimizing drug efficacy and reducing side effects. However, the decisive roles in applying pharmacogenomic testings in clinical settings lies with physicians. Previous cross-sectional studies done in year 2014 in Malaysia reported that Malaysia physicians have only poor to fair knowledge, with almost half of them have no prior education. However, the anticipation of future adoption is high, stating that physicians are likely to apply this test in their practice after receiving proper education. As this study will only open to any physician who respond, the respondents from both studies are actually mostly from government hospitals and general practitioners. There were only 12% were from the private hospitals. So the aim of my study is to test physician knowledge and attitude towards pharmacogenomic testing among physicians targeting those practicing in KPJ hospitals. Why KPJ hospitals? Because it's Malaysia's largest provider of private healthcare services with 29 hospitals throughout the country, which consists of 1,400 consultants from various specializations. A literature review. There is also a cross-sectional study in Korea done year 2020, stating that most urgent barrier perceived by physicians was actually the inadequate actionable guidelines for selection and dosing of drugs in pharmacogenomic testing. Qualitative study also done in Greece, year 2024, reported that pharmacogenomic testing promote patient-centric care, improve medication clinical effectiveness, reduce risk of adverse effect, and thus lower healthcare costs in the long run. But main obstacle in the adoption include low levels of awareness among physicians, lack of insurance reimbursement, scarcity of specialized human resources, and high costs. A literature review done by Khattab et al. In year 2023 shows that it's still a global problem that there is inadequate level of knowledge and awareness of pharmacogenomic and its applications. It happens throughout the world. So my research questions is, first one, what is the level of knowledge and attitudes of physicians towards pharmacogenomic testing in KPJ hospitals? Second, what are the barriers in adopting this test in KPJ hospital as the largest group of private hospitals? And the objective is to assess the physician knowledge and attitudes on the adoptions of pharmacogenomic testing, and to identify the possible barriers on the adoption of pharmacogenomic testing in private hospital represented by KPJ, because as I mentioned, it's the largest group of private hospitals in Malaysia. Go to research methodology. Firstly, this is a cross-sectional survey via online questionnaire. So a questionnaire developed was a draft of the questionnaire was adopted based on previous literature reviews. The survey will be divided into three parts, which is first, respondent characteristic, second, knowledge and attitudes, third, perceived barriers and preferred learning sources. The initial survey will be reviewed and validated by at least 3 experts in the field of pharmacogenomics, and the final revised version aims to have around 25 questions, which take around 10 minutes to complete the survey. Part 1, respondent characteristic, we asked what is the physician gender, age, highest education level, and the working experience, and also which specialization. And we actually also want to know if there is new technologies emerging in clinical practice, which would best describe that respondent. Would he or she will be the first person who want to try an innovation, or aware that there is a need of change and comfortable in adopting new technologies, or will only want to adopt new technologies before an average person but require evidence of success before adopting, or very skeptical of change, only adopt new technology after it had been tried out by many people, by the majority. Part 2, we in the survey asked the respondent on whether they heard of pharmacogenomic testing before taking the survey, and then the knowledge on pharmacogenomic, whereby if they agree that a person's genetic makeup can have a major impact on how the person responds to medication, or the genetic determinants of drug response, whether it would change over a person's lifetime, and whether that pharmacogenomic testing is currently available for most of the medications. And then they are also required to assess their abilities on related below, whereby they have learned what drugs or which drugs can be tested by pharmacogenomic testing. Are they able to tailor medication regime based on the result? Are they able to recommend personalized pharmacogenomic testing? Are they confident to interpret the results of pharmacogenomic testing? They need to assess from poor to excellent. Which and what do they think is true regarding the role of pharmacogenomic? Whether is it crucial in patients who show no or poor response to certain drugs, or is it only crucial in cases with potential life-threatening drug reaction, or it can help to choose appropriate drugs and optimize dosing, or it can help to improve therapeutic efficacy and reduce the risk of side effect, or it can help to reduce the pharmacotherapeutic cost effectively. Either they agree, disagree, or they are neutral. And then which categories of patient do they think will benefit most from pharmacogenomic testing? Is it every patient, or only patients with multiple comorbidities, or patient whereby this test can guide the determination of the initial dose, or whether they use the result to help predict that he or she will have poor response to a medication, or they do not think that the testing is beneficial at all. So how likely will they recommend this test for their patients in the future? Very likely, somewhat likely, unlikely, or uncertain? Or are they more comfortable in choosing an alternative non-genetic test, such as a routine biochemical test, over pharmacogenomic testing to assess on the drug efficacy and safety? Part 3 will also assess on the barriers and education preference, whereby what they think is the obstacles on the application of pharmacogenomic testing. It's a multiple choice. They can pick more than one, whereby do they think it's because of lack of awareness or knowledge, due to lack of education, lack of expertise, lack of facilities, no guidelines on high cost of testing, or insurance does not cover this test, or this test does not influence clinical decision making. If there is a training provided, are they willing to participate, or what are the mode of training they would prefer if they would want to participate? Okay. Survey is written in English and will be distributed to all the consultants in KPJ hospital through their hospital email, and informed consent will be required for them to agree before taking the survey, and the answer for each question will be made compulsory to be filled in prior to proceed to the next session. This is to ensure no incomplete responses received. A population size of 1,400 with a margin error of 0.05% and an expected sample proportion of 0.5, thus conclude that the minimum sample size would at least need to be 302. The timeline of 2 weeks will be set for the physician to respond. If the minimum sample size still not reached after that, a total of 3 reminder emails in the interval of 2 days will be sent out to encourage participation. If the number of respondents is still low after despite the reminders whereby it haven't reached the sample size, each respondent will include from those who very first respond will be rewarded a 10 ringgit voucher as a token of appreciation for participation and in hope that more physicians would respond. The survey distribution and collection directly from consultant, we will actually get the help of an administrator from KPJ headquarters who plays no part in data analysis. By doing so, meaning to say the email distribution and collection will be done by a third party rather than the researcher. In doing so, all data are then made anonymous to the researcher to reduce bias. Data analysis, the researcher will clean, transfer, integrate, and analyze all data via the SPSS version 28. For categorical outcomes, it will be summarized using descriptive statistics such as frequencies and percentage. The differences will be determined using the Pearson chi-square test. And for continuous variables, it will be expressed by means and standard deviation and analyzed using the independent sample t-test and one-way ANOVA. So if the F statistic is significant, 2 key post hoc tests will also be used. The level of significance chosen is p-value less than 0.05. The potential implication of this study is to provide an insight of the level of knowledge and attitudes towards pharmacogenomic testing among physicians in KPJ hospital in Malaysia in order to lead the implementation of this test in tertiary setting healthcare providers. It also proposed solutions to overcome barriers to bring improvements and advancement in the clinical practice of personalized and precision medicine in private hospital in Malaysia. So the budget, if a 10 ringgit voucher will be given to respondent, I estimate a number of 350 respondents will mark out to 3,500 ringgit. And to look to the pharmacogenomic expert fee for them to validate, each of them will be given a 500 ringgit. We'll find around 4 experts to help to validate the survey and mark out to a 2,000 ringgit fee. And to get the third party administrator to distribute and collect the survey directly from physician, we estimate 2% and will be given a fee of 400 ringgit and hence mark out to 800 ringgit. The total estimated cost will be around 6,300 ringgit. This would be my Gantt chart. And also this is my reference for this study use. So I think that's all from me. Thank you to all for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Have a good day.